Hi, welcome to the Reluctant Sisters podcast. I'm Sarah and I'm coming to you from southeastern Connecticut, and I'm finally getting around to doing my Rhinebeck episode. You can find me on Ravelry as SarahJG2 and on Instagram as Sarah Gotro. There's links for that in the Reluctant Sisters podcast group on Ravelry, where we have knit-alongs and giveaways and a little bit of chatter. There's a new knit-along that's going to start, or started from November 1st through the 30th, where we're doing No Knockers November, and we're going to knit the knitted knockers. There's also links to crocheted patterns for those. All that information is in the Ravelry group. There's a special thread that was Amy and Adrian's idea, my other sisters. You'd have already seen, or you might have already seen Adrian's Rhinebeck video. So she does a lot better than I do. She does a lot more, well, a lot more. She does editing and I don't. She does show notes. I don't do show notes. I try and explain everything I'm talking about, but if there's any questions, you can just ask me on Instagram or Ravelry. Let's see. So, I think first I'll draw for the giveaways. Oh, darn it. Hold on one second. I left the prize downstairs. Okay, I'm back. So I have for the Reluctant Along, September and October. I have the draw. I'm going to draw for that prize. I still didn't finish it. It'll only take a minute. I'll finish it after the podcast. I made a little project bag. I took apart a wool skirt and a wool jacket. I really love it. I'm gonna have to make myself one. It's just some undyed muslin lining. So just a couple things to finish on that, but I'll do it right now. I'm the queen of procrastination, if you didn't know already. So, let me open that up. Let's see how many we had. While that's opening, I also have the prize for the Rhinebeck sweater knit-along. If I can find that in here somewhere. It's a good one, so let's see. So we have 79 posts, so I will do 2 through 79. Let's see. Which is a nice number. Thank you for everybody who participated. All right, generate. Oh, and it's number 56. So let's find out who that is. I know I usually do it ahead of time. Oh, Seductive Berry. Maria. Well, you know I have your address already, so I will get that out to you. Too bad I didn't do it earlier. I just sent her a package yesterday. Oh, yay! Congratulations, Maria. She's in Colorado. Let's see. And then we go over to the Rhinebeck thread, Rhinebeck sweater KAL thread. Look at the prize. This is a skein of Miss Babs Yowza, which is a light worsted, and I think most people use it interchangeably with it DK weight. It's 8 ounces, 560 yards. So plenty to do almost anything with. And this is the Rhinebeck 2017 colorway. There's a funny story with this. We were over at the Miss Babs booth, which if you've seen any other Rhinebeck episodes, you know that it's packed. You just have to like dive into the booth because it's just full of people, and you just kind of move in and then you wait and see if somebody's coming your way, and you kind of slide by each other, switch spots. So I was over there and I was outside the booth looking at the yarn outside, and Adrienne comes up to me and she's just like holding this, and she's like, it's the last one, I don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, well, hold on to it. So I think we were done by then, so we went to go stand in line, which wasn't bad. It was a half an hour, and we're just standing there knitting and talking, and so it was good. But so I had time to decide because I didn't know if I was going to get it yet. But so this is the prize, and they had more on Sunday, but it's just crazy. You just have to dive in and hope for the best. So let's see, we have, oh, I opened the wrong thread. It looks like 16 entries. Okay. All right, so I will go back to random number generator, put in 2 through 16. And the number is 16, which I just saw who that was. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Knitting Detective. I met her at Rhinebeck. It's Stephanie, and she is in New Hyde Park. I think that's pretty, is that close to Rhinebeck? I think it is. I met Knitting Detective at Rhinebeck. She was the first person that came up to us, and she goes, are you Reluctant Sisters? And we were like, yes, we were so excited. It was so nice to meet her. We ran into her a few times. And I said, oh, you know, we have the Rhinebeck knit along. You just have to, you know, post a picture of your finished sweater. Good thing I mentioned it. So yay, Stephanie, just get a hold of me on Ravelry with your mailing information, and I'll get this out to you. Hope you like it. Yay. Yes, she was very nice. We had a good time talking. So I went to Rhinebeck with my sister Adrienne, and I guess I'll talk more about other stuff after. I think first I'm going to jump in with, I have an FO and I have 2 whips, and then I will get into my, I have some acquisitions before Rhinebeck, and then I'll go into my Rhinebeck stuff that way. If you're tired of hearing about Rhinebeck purchases, you can just turn it off. So that wasn't loud. Nice. I finished my poncho. What is the name of this poncho? I can't remember now. The poncho I had to make before I went to Rhinebeck. I think 3 weeks before Rhinebeck I saw this poncho, and I had to have it, right? I had the yarn, and I had to have it because it's awesome. And I just worked monogamously on this, and then it was too warm, so I didn't even take it to Rhinebeck. Well, not only was it too warm, then I ran out of yarn, and I had to figure out what to use in the meantime. I do have another skein of the Cascade Eco Wool, but what is the name of, what's the name of this magazine? Anyway, I'll talk while I'm looking. Or maybe I won't. yeah, I worked really hard on it and I can't wait to wear it. And it was chilly the other day, but now it's warm again today. It's already almost 60, or it was close to 60 at like 10:30 this morning. This weather is ridiculous. But you'll see it's a poncho and it has armholes. And a lot of cabling. So, let's see. Why is this so hard to find? Okay, here we go. Oh, there it is. Pike Stout Poncho. It's from the lookbook, number 4, Puget Sound issue. And they did it in a worsted, but I got gauge with Cascade Eco Wool, which is more of like an Aran or bulky. But I really like it. It's gorgeous. But it was a lot. It's a lot of work. And then with the 2 different cables, there's different, you know, you work them at the same time, but there are different times that you cross. So I had to write it all out and tick it off on my list, because right now it's only in the paper lookbook, so I couldn't put my knit companion in it, which does all that work for you. But I can't wait to wear it, and I do love it. Right now I used some Swan's Island Natural, but you can, it's not too noticeable, but right at the ribbing it's a different color on the back. So I'll just have to rip that out and use the other skein of Eco Wool that I got. So I think that's my only FO. And then I did pick up and work a little bit, well, a little bit on my Mirkwood socks. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, Mirkwood. It's similar to the socks on a plain free pattern, but this one has you knit, do the crosses at different times instead of like every 6th row or something. This is on row 3 you do a cross cable, on row 8 you do a cross cable, and then you knit 20 rows of stockinette before you do the next cable crossover. So it makes it a little bit different. I really like the way it looks. I'm obviously toe up. I'm doing, I don't know if it's a toe up pattern or not, but it doesn't, you can do it either way. It doesn't change the look of the sock. I did Fish Lips Kiss Heels. I know I don't always talk about my socks in detail. These are my 2.5 millimeter US 1.5 Licca driftwood on a 40-inch circular, which is what I usually like to knit them on. This is a skein of Kirby Werby that I pre-ordered a while ago. It's her sparkle base, 435 yards of 75 superwash, 20 nylon, 5 stellina. And it's the RBF, Google it, colorway. It's my first Kirby Werby. I really like it. It's gorgeous. And I have this in my new pumpkin spice latte bag by Lila Lovely. Let's see. www.lilalovely.etsy.com. Yeah. I think she said that she got this fabric from Spoonflower. And I love almost everything pumpkin, including pumpkin coffee, so I couldn't resist. I tried to resist, but I couldn't. And she only had 2 left and said that was the rest of her fabric. So, had to get it. Then the week before Rhinebeck, Mina Phillip from the Knitting Expat podcast messaged me and asked me if I would be able to do a test knit for her new baby dress. And if I would do the 4 year to 6 year size, because my youngest niece is 5 and she wanted to have it knit by somebody that had some a kid local to try it on. She wasn't sure how the neck would come out. If the neck was too wide, I think she was worried about. So, and my nieces love knitted items, like everything. They want everything to be a sweater, they say. But so I said sure. I just had to wait until Rhinebeck to get the yarn, because she said she thought it'd be 2 skeins, but maybe 3 of fingering weight. And I usually, you know, look, I have all these single skeins. I don't usually buy 2 of the same color, and she said I might need 3, so I just waited until Rhinebeck. And I asked Charlotte before I went what color she wanted, and she said dark pink, of course, right? So I just have a couple more inches before I'm done and can do a similar crochet border on the bottom. It's and then it just has little short sleeves. If you follow her on Instagram, you would see her daughter Layla modeling hers. Yeah, so hopefully, I think it will be long enough. I think I'll try it on Charlotte before I bind off to see if I need it any longer. But the nice thing about this, with it being knit and it has some stretch to it, so as they grow, as long as the, you know, the top fits, it can become a tunic if they're too tall for it to be, you know, a dress. So this wool, I got 3 skeins. I'm alternating. I'm pretty sure I might have to break into the 3rd, but that's okay. I have it. I'll show you the pretty skein. I got wool. Sorry about the sun. It's that funny time of day again where it hits through this window. Yeah, I've looked at wool before on their website, but I've never bought it, and I didn't, for some reason, I didn't realize how inexpensive it was. You know, I didn't want to get anything too expensive, especially for, you know, just for a kid knit. I just wanted to spend the money on me. So, yeah, their wool was, their skeins, I think all of them, like, you know, every weight of the wool anyway, I think it was all $15. You know, because I was expecting to spend at least $20 a skein. You know, usually that's what, you know, especially I guess indie dyed wool usually starts at that price at least. So, you know, I was expecting to spend quite a bit. So when they were at Rhinebeck, I was really excited to see, and then I saw the sign that said $15, and then they had the perfect pink. So on their website, it's $15.99. So I guess, you know, they just mark it down a little bit because they don't have to do any shipping or anything. So yeah, $15 at Rhinebeck, $15.99 on their website. It's, let me see. All right, so I'll just tell you, this is the Bee Balm colorway, which is a flower. And the specs on the yarn is it's 100% 100% marine machine washable, certified organic merino wool. 428 yards for 100 grams. So fingering weight. And they use some kind of, like, I don't know how to explain it. Their website is o-wool.com. But it's like environmentally friendly way of making their wool superwash, I think. No, I know I'm not explaining that as well as I should, but it's something to that effect. You can look on their website to see exactly what it is, but it's made in Maine. So that makes it, I'm really like that whole idea. It says machine wash cold, machine dry low for optimal color blending, alternate skeins while knitting, which is what I'm doing for these two anyway. Yeah, I love it. It's not quite as neon as it looks on my screen, but beautiful. I think that the sun is kind of making it glow. So that was one of my first purchases, I think. Oh, I did go to Indie Untangled the night before, so I'll start with that. Oh, so that's my last whip. I'm almost done with that. And yeah, I got that Saturday at Rhinebeck. So I think I'll start kind of in order. Oh, actually, let me show you. I said I wanted to show you my acquisitions before I went to Rhinebeck, so let me do that instead. I'm sorry. I forgot to show this on the last episode. Michelle Birkbeck, one of our members and the podcast subscriber, sent me a present, which was so nice. Who doesn't love presents? So she dyed this skein of yarn for me, which she obviously watches the podcast because it's my favorite color. It's really beautiful. I can't wait to use it. Nice and soft. And she made me some stitch markers for the Progress Keeper. So thank you, Michelle. I didn't say thank you on the podcast last episode, and I wanted to do that. I love it. Let's see. Okay. And then before, I think it was the week before, maybe two. Anyway, I went to Driftwood Yarns with my sister Amy. It's in Groton. I'd never heard of the yarn store before. And then I also, I follow Fuse, oh, how I found out is I follow Fuse Fiber Studio on Instagram. And she mentioned that she was having a trunk show there, and I'm like, I didn't know there was a store there. So Amy and I went down, and it would have been rude not to buy any, right? She has gorgeous colorways and gorgeous speckles. So this is called Fairy House. It is her Fuse Fingering 80 superwash 20 nylon, 400 yards to 100 grams, which I like that put up. The 400 yards to 100 grams. It's usually a little bit plumper. Or my favorite yarns are the little bit plumper ones. But look at these speckles. Ugh, can't even take it. It's got some darker sections. And little bits of green. I love it. So yeah, you should look on her her Instagram page. And so she's at Fuse Fiber Studio on Instagram, www.fusefiberstudio.com. I think, is she in Avon? She's on the other side of the state from me, I know that. But beautiful, and she happened to be there. It was really nice to meet her. Okay, and then the day before Rhinebeck, no, was it the day before? Or as I was leaving? I think it was the Friday that we were getting ready to leave for Rhinebeck. This came in the mail from the Woolly Thistle. Oh. Croft Shetland tweed. It's 100% Shetland Island wool, but it's spun by West Yorkshire spinners. I saw this on Instagram too, and I asked Claire from the Woolly Thistle if she was going to be carrying this. She's a really great website that I think she's New Hampshire Knits, and she has the New Hampshire Knits audio podcast. I asked her if she was planning on ordering it, and so she said she'd look into it when she got back. She happened to be in Scotland at the time, but she did. I had to wait. This color sold out the first time she had it in stock, so I waited because this is the color I wanted, and I just didn't want to buy it to buy it. Yeah, and I really like it. This is the bottom colorway, BODDAM. So let's see, 182 yards for 100 grams. So it's a worsted. It's really soft. I really love it. Let me go ahead and close the curtain and get rid of this glare. Hold. Okay, much better. I just opened the curtain from the other side. Yeah, so I have that, and then after I got back from Rhinebeck, right? I think. I forgot I had even pre-ordered this. I got a skein of Freckled Whimsy. It's a self-striping. I've never ordered her yarn either, but I really liked this color. You know, it's got two shades of the tealy aqua that I love. This is called Rock You Like a Hurricane. It's a colorway she made after the hurricane that hit Texas, and a portion of the money or the price went toward hurricane relief. So this is her Whimsy base, 2-ply fingering weight, 80/20, superwash merino nylon, 400 yards for 100 grams. Freckledwhimsy.com. Oh, freckledwhimsy.etsy.com. I've never ordered her yarn before either, so it was a pre-order, so it had been, I think, a month or two, so I forgot all about it. Yeah, you could pick whatever base you wanted. So this is my favorite base, the 80/20, 400 yards, 200 grams. I really like how plump that is. Nice and squishy. So I got that, and then just the other day, what day was it, Monday? I got a package from Maria, Seductive Berry. We're doing a little bit of a swap because she, I'll show you when I get the pattern. She wants a Sasquatch quilted pillow cover. So she sent me the yarn to make that. And then she had already sent me fiber, which I showed before, and then she sent me my first skein of Desert Vista Dye Works. Can't wait. It's the Strawberry Shortcake doll colorway, which is my absolute favorite. I even have the cake pan of Strawberry Shortcake that my mother made me in the 80s still, and it's the picture was, the inspiration picture was like the original Strawberry Shortcake, not the new one. Yep, self-striping. Viso, her Viso base, which is 75/25 merino nylon, 462 yards. So a little bit thinner. But so it's got the pink, green, red, and white. And then it's like in another shade of pink. So yeah, my first skein of that too. It's all a day of firsts. So she sent me that, and then she, when I went to New York in the summer to see Mina, doing expat again, Maria asked me to get her a New York Starbucks mug, and she sent me a Colorado one. I should have got myself a New York one too, but I didn't. But this is my first Starbucks mug, so that's exciting. And she also sent the Cat's Pajamas yarn. Was this a club? This might have been a club colorway. Called Russian Blue DK. It's 100% superwash merino, 240 yards to 100 grams. Toilsome and persnickety is the colorway. I think she wasn't a fan of this color, but I like it, and it's a single. And there's 2 skeins. So that is all of my non-Rhinebeck purchases, which it's been, I think, a month since I recorded last. I know I usually do not have this much acquisitions, but it was Rhinebeck and I saved and saved and made the most of it. So if you're leaving now and you're done with you're tired of seeing Rhinebeck, I totally understand, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you're a new viewer, thank you for watching, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So now I'll get into the weekend of Rhinebeck. So what day? Friday, the day before Rhinebeck, my sister Adrienne and I drove up. I think we left her house around 2 o'clock. And we were staying in Kingston. I wasn't planning on it, but the week before, I think, I decided that I did want to go to India Entangled. We've never gone to Rhinebeck. This is our first time. And it did have some really neat dyers that I've never seen before in person, so we thought we'd give it a shot. I think we got up there around 5. Anyway, we got up to Kingston. We just checked in at our motel, and then we didn't bring our stuff in or anything, and then we drove straight to the Best Western where the India Entangled was. If you've seen any Rhinebeck episodes, you know, you've heard how crazy India Entangled was. I won't get, it was, I knew there would be that many people. I just thought that the venue would be bigger, so there's more space. It was as crazy as everybody's talking, completely. So the first thing I got, so when I finally got in there, which it wasn't too bad, I got, I tried to look for a booth that wasn't jam-packed like a can of sardines, and right where I went in, I saw White Birch Fiber Arts, and Maria had given me some money to get her some mini skeins at Rhinebeck weekend, which I just sent to her. So I don't have them to show you, but so I got a pack of mini skeins there, and Adrienne had dropped me off at the front door because there was the parking was crazy. So then we finally met up. It was crazy. So anyway, I got the yarn for Maria, and I tried to walk around. It was unbelievable. I actually ran into Mina and Marcia from the, I can see it. I can see her stitch. Anyway, I'll try and look it up while I'm thinking of it. So I met Marcia, and we talked like really quick. It was loud. It was crazy. It was everywhere. I tried to get into the lemonade shop booth, but I didn't realize, it was just so packed, and I didn't realize they had like a way in that was a little more organized. But anyway, so I didn't get anything from Lemonade Shop, which was fine. And then I tried to walk around, and they had 2 rooms, but the other room was just as packed, and I can't even remember who was in that room. So anyway, I'll just go into what I've got. I think the first thing I bought for myself is this Canon hand-dyed. They're canonhanddyes.com. This is their Sleepy Hollow colorway. I don't know if I've heard of them before or not. So this is their Sleepy Hollow 6 stripes. They're Victor Merino fingering, 80/20 merino nylon, 460 yards. Yeah, it's just, a lot of their yarn was this muted tones. They were all beautiful. But I really, really liked it, and I thought I would regret it if I didn't get this color. They had tons of like mini skeins, like really tiny ones, if you wanted to make like thin striped cowls and hats they had in their booth. But yeah, it's really beautiful and really soft. So that was, I think, my first purchase for myself. And then it was just maddening. I don't usually have a problem with crowds, but there was a moment there where I was like, it kind of freaked out because it was just, I was getting squished in the middle of the aisles, like between the booths. I wasn't even in a booth getting squished. So somehow we ended up by the back corner. They had like the door open to the outside, and Mina was over there with Marcia. Oh, Fairy Little. That's who Marcia is, Fairy Little, from Canada. And I don't know if she calls her podcast the Fairy Little or the Twitch and Stitch. You know, it used to be called Twitch and Stitch Podcast. I think she did it with her sister. Oh, now she calls it Fairy Little on YouTube. So they were over there and we were talking, and we were right by the Hugh Loko booth. I tried to get in there before too, and it was just so crowded. So we were standing by the door talking, and I could see, oh, and Jody and Tracy, the grocery girls, were right there too. And I could see this was like across and above somebody's head. That's the only way I could see it. I wasn't in the booth. So I saw it in, of course, my favorite colors, right? I've never had Hugh Loko yarn either. So I said, oh, look at that color up at top. So Adrian goes, oh, do you want me to get it for you? I'm like, well, if you feel like crowd surfing, sure. So I gave her the money, and Phyllis sock is the base. The High 5 colorway. I think that's what this is, High 5. 75/25 merino nylon, 463 yards. So then I hear somebody yell my name, and I turn, it's Jody, because Adrian was trying to yell my name to get my attention to find out what skein to get. So there we go. And then we ended up standing outside the door. It kind of had a ramp to load whatever you needed into that room. So we were standing out there, and somebody came out, and they had, I think, 2 skeins of this. La bien ami. A lot of people have shown that they bought this too. This was a India Untangled exclusive colorway. I did see Amy there, and I didn't see the yarn. Like I said, there were so many people, so I didn't see the yarn. I didn't know where it was. On the website, it said hosted by India Untangled, but I couldn't even tell that there was a booth right there across from where she was standing. So somebody came out with this, because I had seen this colorway on Instagram. You could pre-order it, but like I said, we weren't planning on going, so I didn't pre-order it, even though I loved it. So I said, oh, to the person that had it, I said, oh, you were so smart to pre-order it. I really love that. She goes, I didn't pre-order it. They still have some up there. So it was a little later on in the, like, you know, maybe half an hour after we had already been there. And so I ran up there, and they had a handful left, so I bought 3. And I got one for myself and my 2 sisters. It's merino singles, 400 yards for 100 grams, 100% merino. It's Automne Rhinebeck. Adrian can say it better than me. She showed it on her podcast. She speaks some French, so I've never had this dyer's yarn before. I do follow them on Instagram, but I love it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe a cowl might be nice. So yeah, I was really excited. So I think that's all I bought there. Like I said, it was really crazy, and it was you know, getting hot in there. It was getting late, and you know, we had driven up there, so we hadn't even been to our room. There was a whole group that were going to go out to eat. So like Mina and I think Marcia, the girls from the Die Another Day, Cozy Knitter, and Yarn Enabler podcast were there. I can't remember everybody that was going to go. So we were going to meet them at a restaurant. So we got there, and while we're waiting for everybody to come, we decided we were a little tired, and we just wanted to kind of chill after longish drive up there. So we just ordered our food and left. Right, almost as everybody was sitting down. So, and we went back to the hotel and just ate there, which was nice to just relax. So those are my 3 things from there, which I love. Then I think I'm not going to worry too much about the order I bought things, because it doesn't really matter. But this happens to be the first thing I ordered. We got there a little bit before the gates opened on Saturday to Rhinebeck. We had a really nice time just talking to everybody in line. The cutest little boy ever. Oh, he was so cute with his little mohawk. So yeah, it was nice to just sit and chat to all the people there. And then we went in and I said, you know, I'm not one for pushing too much into crowds. So I think, you know, I'll just start from where we are and try to hit the places that aren't too crowded. And then when we come back through, you know, I'll get the other yarn if the booth is less crowded. So this is the first place that we went to. It's Looking Glass Sheep and Wool Premium Long Wool Products. Because she just says Teeswater and Coopworth, Christy McNeil, Michigan. So I've never spun Teeswater or Coopworth. I'm not a huge fan of long wools because a lot of them are like shiny, and shiny yarns aren't really my favorite thing. So I was squeezing the yarn. She had some that were natural colors, and I was thinking, and I'm like, I don't need to buy anything right away. And then I saw Lamb Teeswater Roving up top, and I touched it. Oh, it felt like a cloud. So I got it. It was pretty inexpensive. I think this is it's like just a tiny touch over 8 ounces. So I'll get a nice skein out of it no matter what I decide to knit or spin it as. And it's not as shiny. I think part of that reason is because it's roving and not top. So it's a woolen prep instead of a worsted prep, where woolen has all the fiber all in the same direction, so that we'll keep it shiny. This piece got a little stretched out, so you can see that it's like a web or a mesh. It's really just all jumbled up, and that will take away from the shininess. Just a tip if you didn't know that. Yeah, so I'm really excited to try that. I've never, I have a good stash of fiber already, so any fiber I got, I wanted to have it be something I've never spun before. So I got that fiber, and I wanted to, let's see. Yeah, I can't remember what I bought next. Oh, I think I got my mom a pair of alpaca socks. And then we met Stephanie, the yarn detective, which was really nice. We talked to her. I'm trying to find everything. So I'll just go what's next to me, I guess. These are mini skeins from Tidal Yarns, which I think are in Lyme, Connecticut. I'm not sure what the fiber even is, but I bought these minis. I thought they would look nice as a color work option. Maybe with one of the wools I bought. I think they're naturally dyed, but I could be completely off. But I think they are. And I can't even remember how many yards are in these. But they're a good size. And I think it'll be fun. So I got those. I got mini skein. We were over by Primrose Yarn Company. And so since I was getting mini skeins from Maria, I got her some there. And I got this one for myself. Surprise, surprise, right? Because of the aqua. So this is called Baybae, B-A-Y-B-A-E. So it's 100% superwash merino. It's a single. So it's 80 yards, 20 grams. I've never had Primrose yarn either. So, yeah. While we were walking around early in the day, we saw Christy Glass, who was actually friends with one of the friends we met in line. We saw Nathan Taylor pretty early on, so that was fun. And then I feel like I'm missing stuff, but I guess not. We ended up over by Loop, which was on the other side of the fairgrounds. And I've been wanting her, I think she calls these clouds, fibery clouds or something. I've been wanting this for years. I've looked at it on her Etsy shop. I remember seeing it on her Instagram page from Rhinebeck's before, and I just love the color, how it's like got gold in it and a tiny bit of sparkle, gold sparkle. So I've been wanting that for a long time. You can buy it by the ounce. She's got garbage bags full. This one's got a little bit more like a rust coppery color. I almost went back the next day. She had one colorway. It was called, I think, My Little Pony. It looked like sherbet. It was awesome, but I didn't get it. I forgot what this color is called, but anyway. So this is Luxe. Oh, Spinning Clouds. That's what she calls these. 25% cashmere, 25% silk, and 50% merino. I got 3 ounces. So that's going to be something fancy dancy and soft. Then we ended up, right next to Loop was Miss Babs. So I had been wanting to find, one of the things on my list was something to go with these mini skeins that I won from Gershubi that I showed on the last episode. It's a skein's worth of yarn, but dyed into 15 different colors of a gradient. I think this one is called Plum. So I'm like, well, I don't want gray because I already have my Breathing Space sweater that is stripes and the main color is gray. So I was talking to Amy before I left and I said, well, what color should I get to go with that? And she said maybe like a beige. I forgot what the other color was, maybe black. Anyway, I saw this, which it's kind of, I guess, more of a taupe. But I think that will look nice. This is, I don't think I've used Miss Babs either. They're new to me. I do have a Yowza skein that I got last year. This is Zombie Games Yowza. So I haven't knit with it, obviously. But so this is her Katahdin base, which is a fingering weight yarn, 100% blue-faced Leicester wool, 1,700 yards, and it says approximately 14 ounces or 400 grams, so like 4 skeins worth of yarn and 1 big skein, which is convenient. You have no ends. Yeah, it makes it a light fingering with it being 1,750, lighter. But I really like it. So this is the Beechwood colorway. I think this is a really good price, $76. I know we don't usually talk about price much, but I think this is a really good price, because if you buy 4, that's $80, right? If it's $20 a skein, and for indie dyed or hand dyed yarn. So it's a good price. And this alone is enough for a fingering weight sweater for myself. Usually if it's just straight stockinette, obviously cables chew up more yarn. Yeah, so I think I'm going to stripe, like start with the lighter stripe. I don't think I have, I had a picture of the pattern I was thinking about on my phone, but I'm using my phone to record this. But yeah, so I'm going to use those together. I got a couple things. This doesn't say. Oh, Carolina Homespun was there. And they had some yarn. They had like interchangeable needles, and they had a lot of notions. So I just got myself some more cables for my ChowGo interchangeables. And I got one of these fix-it tools, which I love. It's got a crochet. This one has a crochet hook on one side and a knitting needle on the other. Susan B. It's not fancy, but I do like these tools. The other ones I have a hook on both sides. Yeah, so that was that. I think that's well, that's not everything I bought. I think that's everything I bought on Saturday at Rhinebeck. So then on Saturday night, Jill Draper opens up her studio in Kingston that weekend of Rhinebeck. So I wanted to go there. I had wanted to go there the whole time. So you just RSVP. It's free to go, but you just, you know, let them know you're coming. They had wine and appetizers and stuff. So we left like an hour before Rhinebeck closed for the day, because I think it was 9 to 5. So we left at 4 o'clock, and we're only like 15 minutes from Kingston, from back, you know, to where our hotel is to Rhinebeck was only about 15 minutes. So I thought that the open studio was at 5 o'clock. So we left an hour early. And then we're going this back way, and all of a sudden there's traffic. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing, and it was like hardly moving. And it turned out there were 2 like intersections, I think, that we met up with another huge line of people, and it was just going one and one and one. But so it took us over an hour, maybe almost 2, to get back to Kingston to Jill Draper's open studio. But it worked out because the open studio wasn't at 5, it was at 6. That's the story of my weekend. I thought everything was an hour later or an hour earlier. I was off all weekend. So Jill Draper had Daughter of a Shepherd trunk show there. It's beautiful. It's Hebridean wool. It's very woolly and very hairy, very what you think of wool. But I didn't get that. I did want to get a yarn baby from Jill Draper, but after just spending all the money I spent during the day on Saturday, I'm like, I can't do it. So I bought the yarn, the same yarn in a smaller skein, not a sweater's quantity. So this is it's called Mini Empire Heathers, because those big yarn babies that has the whole sweater worth of air and weight yarn in one skein are called Empire skeins. So this is her Mini Empire. It is really round and really squishy, and has a really good, like, not toothy, like in a scratchy way, but it just has a nice texture to it. So this color is Sea Bottom. It's 100% Rambouillet, which is one of my favorite fibers. 213 yards for 4 ounces. It seems rounder than that. Very plump. And I got Sea Bottom and Daffodil. So this is the Heathers you can see that, you know, this one's heathered. So I don't know if I'll use them together. I thought I would when I bought them, but I don't know. But I really like them. And she goes and it's all the wool is like very local to her. Hand dyed with love, made from sheep to skein in the US. Yeah, so it's very, very local. What else was I going to say about this? Yeah, I don't know what I'll make with it yet, but I really like it, and it would be perfect for cables. It's so round and squishy. Let's see if I can tell. It's a 4-ply. Yeah, 4 plies. So then we just, I think we just went back to the hotel after that. Got gas and went back to the hotel. Oh, and as we were leaving, Adrian told the story. Everybody talks about the falafel. And there's a line, which was, you know, fine. So we're leaving and she goes, there's no line there. So I like pivot. It was like, she said it and I just turned, and it turned out they didn't have any and they were waiting for more. So they said, oh, just 15 minutes. And I was going to come back and I'm like, wait, the line is never going to be any shorter than 15 minutes anyway, so we might as well just wait. So we're waiting, and these guys come with a cart with like 3, I think it was 3 huge coolers, like huge beach coolers filled with the mixed falafel mix ready to fry. It was so heavy that these 2 guys were on each end and picking up these huge coolers, and they could have definitely used a 3rd person to help them. It was unbelievable. So we got that before we left, and it's as great as everybody says. The tahini, the onions, the cucumber, the best pitas ever. It's worth the wait, and it wasn't, we went back and got more on Sunday, and there was a line then, and it wasn't that long of a wait. It moves quick, it doesn't take long to cook, and they've got a bunch of people, so definitely worth the wait. Oh, and I didn't talk about the podcaster meetup on Saturday, so we went over to that on the hill by the tree. I'm super, super shy, as I say it pretty often. I can't even watch myself back on this. I just throw it up on YouTube and hope for the best. So if there was a big group of people around, you know, a designer or a podcaster, I just get myself nerved up and I walk away. I can't. I overthink it. So I saw like Isolde Teague was there, and I'm like too starstruck to even go say hi. I was taking a lot of like sneaky pictures and putting them on my Insta stories. So I saw Isolde Teague. I saw Claire was busy from Woolly Thistle, but her friend had a bunch of bags from the Woolly Thistle that they were giving out. I had my pouches that I showed before. I don't think I have any up here. So I was giving out pouches. We met a bunch of podcasters, Chasing Acorns, Storm Coast, The Cat Lady, who are all so sweet. Vicky DeVixta podcast, Opera Joe from Stitching the High Notes were there. We got to talk with them a little bit. They were so funny. Met Chili Knits, who talked about me on her podcast and showed the little pouch I made. So it was really nice to meet her. She was so sweet. Yeah, so we just kind of stood around and talked, met a bunch of people. Oh, met Amy. Oh, I can't think of her name. The girls from Periscoping Sisters. We saw them a few times. They were really sweet. So yeah, so Cat Lady podcast, Button, Very Little Button. We saw her again on Saturday. Had a nice conversation with her. Oh, here's my Chasing Acorns. She's got a, she has an Etsy shop too, which Kim from Chasing Acorns Yeah, I have a bag from her actually. Yeah, got a little spinning wheel. Earlier in the day, we met Barbara from the Flame and Fiber podcast. Barbara. She does some glass work. So I had seen her doing this on Instagram. She made little flower stitch markers. She was really sweet. She's got a really nice podcast too. So you should go check that out. Now I get to use I really, really like it. Oh, this is from Chili Knits, a Kitchener stitch instructions button. How awesome is that? Love it. Oh, here's the periscoping. Is it Amy and Debbie periscoping sisters? Debbie Reese, is that her name? So they have cute buttons. Everybody goes, oh, do you have a card? I'm like, no, I didn't even think of getting cards. Yeah, Chili Knits. Look at this beautiful mini. So I gave her a little pouch and one for her friend Marcella. What's her name? And then I waited because just after the podcaster meetup was Classy Squid Fiber Company had a little meetup, and I'm a loyal customer to her. I haven't bought anything in a little while, but I think I'll get something this weekend actually. More on that after. So she had these really nice stickers. They're like vinyl, and then nice fiber samples, which I think this is the bat that I want to get from her this weekend. She always, when you order from her, she always puts a sample of this size in your order. So I have quite a few of these. I'm wondering if I should like spin them all together and make some kind of crazy skein. Yeah, we met some viewers of the podcast. Liz, we met her. Who else? Can't remember everybody, I'm sorry. Oh, we saw Sue and Chelsea from the Legacy Fiber Arts Legacy Knits podcast. We got to hug Sue. Chelsea was busy. We saw Mina again and got to say hi to Perry and Layla. I can't think there were so many people and so many pictures, and it was a lot of fun. So we did that. We waited for the sheep people. Freaky. It's as freaky as everybody's saying it is. It was freaky. I did put some video up, I think, on my Insta stories. Freaky. Yeah, so then when you order from Miss Babs, you get a little stitch marker. And they had little samples, like tons of samples, you could just pull them. So I was on a pink kick, I guess. That's sparkly. Oh, they do Hot to Trot. Oh, this is Deep Sea Jellyfish. That's a really popular colorway. Bewitching. Oh, and this one doesn't have a name written on it, but looks like Hot to Trot, just in a sparkle. Yeah, I don't know if there'll be enough for a square in my sock yarn blanket or not. But yeah, that was that. So then I'll just go into, we woke up the same time early on Sunday, checked out, went and got coffee. And did it all again. Adrienne said that she hadn't bought much, and she decided that she wanted to go back to Miss Babs and get a skein like this, which she showed on hers. It's similar to this color almost. So she said she wanted to do that, and she wanted to go back to the Into the World booth, which they're right next to each other. So I said, well, let's go on the entrance on the other side, which is closer to Miss Babs, so we can hit that first thing and maybe hit it before it gets too crazy busy, which didn't really happen. We did go in on that side, and it might have been a touch less busy because it was early and it was a Sunday, which is a lot less crowded. So we did that. She picked out her color, and I stood in line for her so she could go to Into the World. So I bought it. I come back and I walked by Nathan Taylor, Sockmatician. And Adrian's waiting in line to pay it Into the World. And I went like this to say, oh, I just saw Nathan just right there. And as I'm turning and pointing, he's right there. And I go, oh, I was just saying you were over there. So I can't believe Adrian didn't tell the story on her episode of Rhinebeck. But she's like, you know, he's like, oh, what did you buy? And we just got there, so I hadn't bought anything yet. So she showed her 2 skeins, and he's like, oh, you know, nice. Those are really nice, and, you know, you having a nice time. Just a short, nice conversation. So then all day she's like, well, not everybody, but she's like, oh, we saw Sockmatician, and he liked my yarn choices. He liked my yarn. Yeah, we did that. And then, I don't know, we just kind of wandered around. Oh, I really wanted to find Ross Farms, and we totally missed their whole building, but I've been wanting to go there. I was really disappointed we didn't get to go to Rhinebeck last year, because I was fine with not going to Rhinebeck. I was just disappointed that I wouldn't be able to get to meet Amy and Scooter from Ross Farms. So I really, really wanted to get to them on Sunday. So we found them. They have a farm. It's a Century Farm, it's called. It's been in her family for over 100 years. And they have a lot of like endangered breeds, heritage breeds. And I think they're in Pennsylvania, I think. Yeah, so I wanted to get something that was new to me. The color of yarn I wanted was all out. The Shetland color I wanted. Their yarn is beautiful. So I wanted to get something different. So I got the extremely rare Hog Island, which has got quite a bit of veggie matter in there, but totally acceptable and easy to deal with. I'm surprised how soft this is, being, you know, such a rare breed and everything. I sometimes expect those to be a little more scratchy, but this is really nice and spongy in a good way. Spongy by like squishy. But yeah, so I look forward to that. And then rare CVN fawn color. I've also never spun CVM. So yeah, all the wool I bought is new to me fiber. But yeah, this is squishy in the same way. I really love it. And they were really sweet, so nice to meet. And everything I hoped for. I still think I missed another building because I wanted to go find, I think it's Matterroot is the name of her booth or her store. And I didn't even see her, so I think I missed a whole building. And then up a hill was like donuts and a maple stand. So maybe the booth was up there. I don't know, but I'm like, no, it's no big deal. I don't have to get apple cider donuts. It's, you know, I can get them around here. Then I get home and I see that somebody had maple cotton candy. So I've learned my lesson, and I'm totally disappointed because maple is another one of my favorites. So I guess another reason to go back to Rhinebeck. But yeah, so I was bummed. So I think by that time we ended up wanted to go to see the Leaping Llamas, which I thought was at noon, which turned out to be at 11. So we were looking for, I had bought this on Saturday. Adrian wanted to buy one. She didn't get one that day, so she wanted to go back there, and we were looking for them, and I'm like, I know where they are, but I can't remember their name, and I didn't have the lotion with me. So I just had that card. Anyway, like, I know they're around here, but we couldn't find the booth. So we walked by the Leaping Llama building, and it was getting full already. So I said, well, I'm going to go get seats. Oh, here. This is what she was looking for. ithacasoap.com, lixtic.com. They have, Adrian got chapstick and a lotion bar. This one, was a touch more expensive because of the calendula. They grow it themselves and put it in, but it smells amazing. I'm really sensitive to smells, like really bad, but this was lavender mint. I love it. It's amazing. And I think it does help with my hands, like the soothing. Anyway, so I said, okay, it's getting full. You can keep looking. I'll get us seats. Yeah, so I found some seats and I waited. And then on the other, it's just another opening on the other side of the barn. I saw Mina by herself, and she looked like she was looking in, and I waved, and I thought she didn't see me. And then she turned, and then she saw me, and she's like, save me a seat, save me a seat. So I, said, okay, plenty of room. So I'm waiting for Adrian and Mina now. It was so funny because the person behind me, I said something like, I'm saving for my sister and my friend. And, yeah. And so I'm waiting, and they come, and Mina comes, and she gets in, and the lady behind me goes, you didn't say your friend was Mina. You didn't say it was Knitting Expat. So it was really funny to see her like fangirl over Mina. And then Mina and I were talking as it got started, and they're just introducing people. Maybe the person in front of us knew them, that, it wasn't anything. It was just the kids from the 4-H. But she shushed us. Okay. It was funny, like everything was fine, but it seemed to get the most heated at Leaping Llamas, because then after we got shushed, there were kids. They asked for a couple kids to help with raising the pole higher as, every round got tougher. And so the kids moved up to the fence, and one lady was like, And so the mother of the kid, they got in a fight. It was kind of like crazy. Ugh. Leaping Llama drama. But it was so much fun. It was so funny. And what was almost funnier than watching the llama and the cashmere goats and the nun with the cashmere goat jump was how excited and how crazy the crowd was getting cheering. It was hilarious, but it was fun. So after that, we walked around with Mina because she was without Perry and the baby that morning. We went and got more falafel, sat and ate it with her, which was fun. And then she went off. She had stuff she wanted to do, and we were kind of winding up our trip. Oh, so I was thirsty. Adrian went to get a drink. I went to go stand in line in the bathroom, and as I come out, I see Sarcastic Stitches. She's like, oh, hi, Sarah, you don't know me. So that was fun. We talked with her and her group for a little while, and we made our way. They were going in the direction Adrian went with to get the drinks. So we walked over there and talked with her. And then I think, we just were making our way back to that other side where we were parked. And Adrian had cheese she wanted to get. I don't think she talked about it, but it was amazing. I had a little taste because I can't eat it, but it was really good. So she wanted to get the cheese. Oh, and I wanted to meet, that morning I had made a point to go meet Tammy from Wing and a Prayer Yarn. So I have a picture of that on my Instagram, because you have to follow them on Instagram if you don't. Wing and a Prayer, she does a lot of stories, and she's just really neat. I really like everything she's doing over there, and you can go visit her. She's in Vermont, so she's only a couple hours from us. So I would like to make a point to go do that in a day trip, go see her on her farm. She does a lot of sewing retreats and natural dyeing retreats, and I do learn a lot from that Instagram, because I didn't know that you could, I knew you could grow indigo. I know indigo's a plant, but I didn't realize that you could just take the leaves and blend them up in the blender and use it fresh like that. I thought you had to make like a whole vat of indigo, and I had to like take time before you could use it, which is true, but that's not the only way you can dye with it. So, you know, she does have a lot of interesting stuff on her Instagram. So we walked around. I looked at Jenny the Potter, what she had left, and I didn't get anything. Yeah, what else? Yeah, we were just walking around to see if anything we missed last minute before we left. And I don't remember the farm, but I gave him my last $20, and I got a little skein of this wool. I can't even remember who they were. I thought I had grabbed a card from them, but I don't see it. But it just said, you know, my boys raised these sheep and they dyed the yarn themselves naturally. So how could you not give it to the little boys? They only look like they were around 10. But yeah. I don't know if they used like madder or cochineal for this. I forgot if I even asked them. But it's really nice and squishy. And you can see it's still got, you know, it's a nice farm yarn. You still have your veggie matter to. But they were really cool. They were talking about, you know, what they did, and they were helping people shop, and they were really sweet. So I was happy to give them my money. Maybe I'll make a hat or mittens, maybe slippers. But yeah, I love it. They were just so cute. Couldn't resist. And then, oh, that morning, I think after Leaping Llamas, we walked a little bit with Mina and shopped. And so we went to Going Gnome, which I've seen them at Connecticut Sheep and Wool, and I know that they are going to be at the New England Fiber Festival next on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so I wanted this last time I saw them at Connecticut Sheep and Wool. It's a little hedgehog kit. You can make 3. And I actually have wools this color, so I basically wanted mostly the instructions so I can make more after I'm done with my kit. Yeah, so after that we got the cheese and we went home. So yeah, I got home pretty early. I think I got home at 5 or 6 by the time I got to my house. Yeah, so it was good. Really great weekend. I would do it again. I wasn't planning, so that's the end of my Rhinebeck haul. I don't know why it's so blurry right now. There. I wasn't planning on going to the New England Fiber Fest this weekend. It's up at the Eastern States Exposition Fairgrounds, or Big E. If you're in New England, you'd know that. You'd be familiar with the Big E. It's the same fairgrounds, and I wasn't planning on going, but Amy, who didn't get to go to Rhinebeck with us, said that she wanted to go. So we're going. It worked out good. You know, plans were, it was a good weekend. I'm able to go. Yeah, and I think it's at least the 3rd year that I've known about it anyway. I've never been, but Classy Squid is going to be there. Madder Root, who I missed at Rhinebeck, is going to be there. Going Gnome. Every year it seems to be getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, so I saw the list of vendors. Spunky Eclectic is one of them. Barrett Wool. So I went over the list and I highlighted the little map, and yeah, my little plan of who to go see first. Yeah, my friend is coming too, so it's going to be my sisters and I and my friend. So if you're going to be there, say hi. And I think that's the end of my story. So an extra fiber festival I wasn't planning on, which is a nice surprise. Not that I'm planning on getting too much after this. I'm like a little bit of like hungover, shopper's hangover, which everybody's talking about Rhinebeck makeover, Rhinebeck hangover. It's real. I think I felt worse on Tuesday than I did on Monday. It felt like a lot like jet lag, you know, just so tired in a good way. But yeah, I think that's everything. So now I'll be working my way through all my acquisitions. I'm almost done with that baby dress. And so after that, I'll be happy to get back to spinning. I want to get this test knit done before I go on to other things. So thank you for watching. Not too long. I know I had a lot to show, so I knew it would be longer than usual. If you've made it this far, thank you for sticking with it. Hopefully Amy and I can podcast together after the New England Fiber Fest. I wanted to get this out and have this as its own episode before this weekend, so it'll be shorter and I can just show any little things I buy from there then. But so hopefully Amy will be back with me then, and I'll see you next time. Bye.